Now, it's case number 559 on the calendar, the matter of Howie versus Revels. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. Howie, how long have you and your wife been married?
4 years, going on 5 years.
And you have one child?
Yes, ma'am.
How old?
Our child is 4 months old.
Defendant is your former girlfriend. You have a child with her who is now 12 years old. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You and your wife get along?
Yes, very much.
You may have to tell her to butt out of your business. That's going to be a hard thing for you to do.
Yes, ma'am.
But I read your complaint, and that's eventually what you're going to have to tell her to do. Butt out. Because this is your complaint, which I have a sense that would not have been brought were it not for your wife. You were moving from one location to another.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant moved into your old place. Is that right?
That's correct.
And there was some furniture there. According to your wife, because she wrote the complaint, you loaned her the furniture, said you could use it. And then you left and you moved to your new location, where you still reside.
Yes, ma'am.
And you also left the cable on in your name.
That's correct, in Kristen's name, my wife.
And she said she would take care of switching it over. You eventually did switch it over, and there was a cable bill for a couple of months. How many months?
It's 2 months.
Which is how much?
$367.57 from the collections.
Right. From collections.
From the collections now, because now it's
Okay.
in collections.
Some of that was her bill.
Don't speak! And you want the furniture back. Now, there's some convoluted story that you went there and didn't take the furniture back, left it there, and now she hasn't returned it to you and you've asked for it.
Yes.
But this whole thing came about because probably your wife had a baby. There was a lot of money going out. You haven't paid child support in a while. They're taking your tax return.
Yes, ma'am.
So your wife said, now you're going to sue her for the furniture. That be a fair statement, Mr.
It's,
Howie?
you know, it's pretty close.
It's pretty close. You don't have to be a genius to figure that out, sir. That's why you have to tell your wife to back off. This 12-year-old child has nothing to do with her.
Exactly.
Nothing to do with her. And anything that's done since I assume that for 12 years or 11 years, before you got involved with her, before you made another baby with her, everything was okay with Miss Revels and your child.
Absolutely.
You enjoyed a reasonable relationship. You even asked her to move in. There was no animus for a very long time.
No, I'm not saying that. This has nothing to do with my 12-year-old daughter, though. This has to do
It
with...
has everything to do with your 12-year-old daughter, sir. You go to court when you haven't paid child support because you have a new baby.
Well, I will pay mine.
And you have new responsibility. Before you had a new baby, a new responsibility, and a new wife, you paid your child support when you were supposed to. You did what you were supposed to. You lived close to your child.
Yep.
You know, I could write this book even though it's not in here, Mr. Howie.
Oh, listen,
I've been in family court for a very long time, sir. That's what happened. You had a wonderful relationship with your child. You had a decent relationship with the defendant. You paid your child support when you were supposed to. You decided to have a new life. You married this lady. You and your wife decided to have a new child. And then all of a sudden, new wife says, money's going out. That's not fair.
Your Honor, I mean, with all due respect, she owes the money.
The cable bill's
That
in
has
my
nothing
name.
to do with
Listen to me. I'm not talking about the cable bill. I'm talking about the furniture. The cable bill she knows she owes, right?
Yes, you're right.
So she doesn't owe me for the furniture because I owe her child
Mr.
support?
Howie.
I mean, she can't
Mr.
have
Howie,
both, right?
I don't think she agreed to buy the furniture.
You're right, she didn't, but where's it at? She
Just
never
a
gave
second.
it to us.
I don't think she agreed to buy the furniture. If you say, I sold her the furniture for $500 and she didn't pay it, that's a different story. That's not what you say here. And what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Howie, is you're going to have to tell your wife to back off, that it's none of her business.
Well, the furniture was my doing. That's me. It's my furniture.
You can't have it back.
Well, shouldn't I
You
be
can't have
compensated?
it
I don't
back.
want it back. I just want to be compensated
You're
for it.
not going to get compensated for it. You're not going to get money from her for it, especially if you tell me I don't want it back. Say, I don't
It's
want
gone.
it back.
We tried getting it back. It's
Your
gone.
Honor, they have not.
Just a second. Especially if you tell me I don't want it back. I want to be compensated for it. When was the last
Well,
time?
I'll take it back if
Hey,
you give it back to me. But
We've tried to get it back 2
This
times.
has nothing to do with you. The cable bill was in your name. You're going to get paid. Other than that, it has nothing to do with you. This 12-year-old has nothing to do with you.
I'm not following the relevance of my daughter in this.
That's because you're a moron.
Okay. Okay.
That's because you're a moron. If you're standing on one side of a council table and the mother of your child is standing on the other side of a council table, that's not good for your child.
Exactly.
You don't get that. And if you don't get that, you're a moron.
Okay.
Now you get it.
Sure.
And if you didn't pay child support, because according to your wife, let me read you what she wrote. Due to our financial stresses, John got behind in his child support payments, and the government is now keeping our tax refund that we would have received in April of '09. That's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
They're supposed to keep your refund if you get behind. Why did you get
Exactly.
behind, Mr. Howie?
Because she had been taken off of work because of her pregnancy.
That's not her problem.
I agree.
Just a
It's not
second.
her problem.
That's not her problem. That's not your 12-year-old daughter's problem.
You're right.
That you made a new baby. If you can't afford to have 2 children, only have 1. And if you can't afford to have 1, you don't have 14. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Actually,
It's very nice to want to have another baby. You don't have another baby unless you can afford it. And one of the things that happens when you have a baby, the mother sometimes has to take time off from work. She doesn't feel well. Sometimes she takes maternity leave. You don't have 2 incomes anymore. And all of a sudden, you have to make choices. And the choice that you made was not to send your 12-year-old daughter child support. That's unacceptable, sir. And because you got PO'd, because they advised you that your tax return was being
No,
paid,
it
you're
had
not
nothing to
getting
do
your
with it.
furniture
Absolutely had
back.
nothing to do
You're
with it.
getting, your wife is getting her cable bill paid, because that you owe her.
So she gets to keep all my stuff and get her child support? I mean, can't we have an equilibrium here?
Your Honor.
Yeah,
Can't
you
it be
just had an
balanced?
equilibrium. I made you an equilibrium. If you don't understand it, that's your problem. Put your hand down.
She gets the
John and Kristen Howie claim the mother of John's child, Leela Revels, owes for a cable bill and for the value of missing belongings.
Mr. Howie, how much do you pay in child support?
$266
$266 a week?
a month.
A month. Let's figure that out.
Which we never get.
Get him out of here, please. He's useless. Okay, Mr. Howie, let me tell you what your super generous child support to your daughter generates. $8 a day. I don't feed my 2 dogs on $8 a day. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
You get it? You don't pay child support for this child. You pay a token of what it costs to raise a 12-year-old. You can't buy a pair of sneakers and a pair of jeans and an outfit to go to school. You can't feed a child for $8 a day. So your $8 a day is a token. What it says is, I know I'm your father, and I know I can't support you adequately, but I have to do something, so here's my $8 a day. Do you get it, sir?
I understand what you're saying.
And you don't even pay that. You have some gall standing there. You really do. You have some gall standing there. And I'm telling you, there's going to have to come a time when you're going to have to find yours and tell her to stay out of your business. Do you understand, Mr. Howard?
Yes, ma'am.
Go looking for them. We understand each other? You get your $367 for a cable bill. Period. End of discussion. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She painted a pretty ugly picture, you know, the judge did, but I mean, it's her ruling, so we got to go with it.
Maybe he'll start paying some child support.
I understand I owe her a lot in child support, and I do plan on paying that back.
We tried to get the furniture back a lot of times, but it was never there for us to get it.
It's all there. We're still sitting on the couch to this day.
They lied and said we didn't even try to get it.
I didn't even know that was a problem until not too long ago.
It's all said and done, so let's just, you know, have a short memory of this incident and forget about it.
I would hope, we all could get along, and I hope this doesn't, affect anything.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Byers versus Byers, step forward.
James Byers is suing his son, Gabriel Byers, for the return of money he gave him for safekeeping.
Mr. Byers, this is your son. According to your complaint, several years ago, you left some money in an account for him that he was just sort of keep in case of emergencies. It's your claim that that was $5,000. You want your money back. Your son's defense to that is you told him that he could replenish that account whenever he had extra money, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have a few questions for you because I found some things interesting in your complaint and some things interesting in your answer. First, Mr. Byers, show me where you got the money from to put in an account in your son's name.
From working.
No, show me the
Oh.
account. Where you got the money from, transfer, whatever.
There you have the cashier's check and a copy of the canceled cashier's check.
And that was in November of 2005.
Right.
And did you have any formal agreement with your son in writing with regard to this money?
No, I didn't.
Now, I've read in your son's answer that you and his mother were divorced,
Yes, we are.
and there were 2 children.
There are 3.
3 children. And there was a period of time when you were in substantial noncompliance with a child support order. Is that correct?
That's true.
And that arrears had accrued for at least 2 of your children. A daughter, is that correct?
That is not correct.
A son.
Just a son.
I'm quoting your son's answer. He was trying to get a job at the time, and I told my mother that he had changed, and now that I was grown, to let it go. She signed off on approximately $60,000 that he owed her. My mother called me very upset over his second attempt to get his back child support cleared again, and I had had it. So is that for the same child, sir?
I really
not an
don't know.
answer.
I really don't know what he's saying there.
Well,
I have no
I'm
idea.
asking you questions, sir. In what year did you have your former wife sign off and say she no longer wanted to collect $60,000 from you in back child support? In what year was that?
I have no idea.
What year, sir?
I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly.
Well, figure it out as closely as you can. Otherwise, I'll call your mother.
It was 2004, maybe.
So it was about the same time that your father gave you a check for $5,000. Is that correct?
That check came some years later.
No. That check came in 2005.
Okay, then the child support thing happened maybe a couple years before that then.
Who was the child support for?
The child support that was signed off on was for myself and my brother.
How old is your brother?
He is 40.
And when were they coming after your father for this back child support? Or was your mother coming after him for the
I guess
back
my mother
child-
was coming after him about it.
And she signed off on it?
After I talked to her about it, yes.
Right. And then you got a check for $5,000 from your father.
Yes, I did.
Why do you think that your former wife signed off on $60,000 worth of back child support?
Your Honor, I have no knowledge of her signing off on anything.
Was she
Years-
pursuing child support from you, sir? Did she have a case, or was she proceeding with a case to try to recoup the child support that you owed her?
I simply don't know. I
Well,
have
your
no
son
idea.
knows, and she would know. She's a simple phone call.
She didn't sign off, as far as I know, on any $60,000 worth of child support.
Child support in any amount.
Not that I know of. She
Well,
told me that
explain-
she had. She told me she had signed off, let's say in '98 or something like that.
Was
and
it
then
98?
I began to get notices of child support. I go to her and I asked her, I said, "What is this?" She told me you had signed off. She said, "Well, give me the notices and I'll take care of it," and then didn't. So I don't know of anything about any sign off, period.
All right. Now you're going to tell me the story so that I can believe it about why you gave your son a certified check for $5,000.
I simply gave it to him for safekeeping. I
I want you to explain to me why a certified check, sir.
Well, so I could have a paper trail.
You have a paper trail if you have a regular check. You have a canceled check. You have the same check that you do if you have an official check, sir.
Well, I felt a certified check was the thing to do.
When was the last time you gave your son a substantial amount of money?
Well, I've given him money, and he's run into rough spots before, and I've given him money before.
Only fair. You didn't support him as you were supposed to when he was growing up, so you made up for it now. Only reasonable.
I'm trying to understand what money before had
Just
he
to say,
given
what
me.
doesn't make any difference. Does anything that I say sound as if it's hurting you, sir? Does anything that I'm saying
No.
in this case sound as if I'm hurting you?
No, ma'am.
So what I'm saying to you, Mr. Byer, is the money that you didn't pay for his support when he was growing up, if you threw him an extra couple of dollars or an extra couple of $1,000s when he was in need as an adult, so what? It was money that you owed anyway.
I owe his mother money, not him.
You don't owe his mother money anymore.
I owe his mother money.
When
and
was the
not
last
him.
time you gave his mother money?
There is an order in place.
That's not my question. When was the last time you gave his mother money?
I can't remember.
Well, was it in this decade? Was it in this millennium?
The only thing I can tell you is that I'm paying child support, and I am current, and I have been current for 10 years.
He can't be current. He's 37.
I'm current in the arrears that was set up.
When your son has the money to give you back that you left in his care, he'll pay you back. Can you give him back any money now?
No, ma'am.
I left the money with him simply for him to, as a keepsake for me.
As a keepsake.
And actually,
as a
he would
keepsake.
run
Mr.
into...
Byer, I never heard such a ridiculous story in my life. And if you and your son have an agreement, and your son says that you have an agreement, I don't know why he said it. I'm not exactly sure, because I think if my common sense dictates to me, there was sort of a quid pro quo, that your son got his mother to sign off on this child support, and in exchange he got the $5,000. That sounds logical to me. What does not sound logical to me is an adult parent saying to a child, I'm giving you $5,000, as you just said to me, as a keepsake for me, and I'll come to you when I need it or when I want it. That suggests that you can't take care of your own money, or that the state was coming after you for money, and the reason you put it in a cashier's check was that there was no paper trail. No paper trail, not a paper trail, no paper trail. So you had accumulated some cash, you wrote out a cashier's check, and you gave it to him to put away.
Yeah, it's case number 578 on the calendar in the matter of DeBarry versus Gagliano.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Mr. DeBarry, you and the defendant were in a relationship and you lived together
Yes, Your
until
Honor.
sometime in May of last year.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to your complaint, you believe that Ms. Gagliano is responsible for several things. First, for an assault that you allege she perpetrated on you on that day. Second, you claim that she filed a false application for a restraining order against you, which caused you to incur some fees. You want her to be responsible, in addition, for a hotel that you had to pay for when she filed these false charges and you were forced to leave the home.
Yes.
The defendant says that you actually did, in fact, assault her. She says that, in addition, she had to, since she was arrested, she had to stay in an apartment for a couple of weeks while you were living in her home. And in addition, when she finally was allowed back into the home, she found that the place was a mess and that you allegedly took some property that didn't belong to you. When did this incident occur?
May 24th, 2000.
And how long have the two of you been living together
Just
at that
over
time?
2 years.
So why don't you start by telling me what happened on the 24th of May?
Well, on May 24th, I had picked her up from the airport because she had been at her family's because her father had passed away. And, you know, we came into the apartment and I went into the bedroom and I got on the computer because I was looking for a rental car. And she right away started getting irate with me and yelling at me.
Why was she yelling at you?
We had conversations to the fact that we weren't getting along, that there was some issues.
Before she went away or when she was...
While she was away,
While she
I
was
had brought it to her attention that I felt like I was just a roommate. You know, I'm paying bills and I'm living there, but there's nothing else. So we discussed that when she got back, we would talk. As soon as she got back, she didn't say nothing on the car ride back from the airport. She got into the apartment and she flipped out.
Well, tell me how she flipped out, sir. What
She
did she
started throwing stuff, my golf clubs across the room. She wiped off everything off the desk and the dresser.
Well, what was it that precipitated that? Something usually happens before.
Nothing. She was just, I couldn't understand. This is a shock to me because she was never like this. So she continued to get irate and she's like, I want you out of here.
Were you not sympathetic to her?
I was.
Okay.
And I said, you want me out of here? Call the cops. She refused to call the cops. So she got in my face, clenched her fists, and turned red, and she was gritting her teeth, and she's like, pushing towards me like she wanted me to hit her. And I just backed away. I said, you need to get out of here. You need to go sit down and go do something because I don't need to deal with this. She's like, I want you out. I said, here, call 911. I typed 911 in my cell phone, and I went to hand it to her. She wouldn't take it. She finally walked out of the room. I sat down at the desk. I was on the computer chair. And a couple minutes later, she came back in and she lunged at me on the chair and started digging into my face. So I had 911 programmed in the phone, so all I did was hit send. And I got the dispatcher. And I told him, she's attacking me. You need to send somebody here now. And she got up and she was hysterical and she went out in the other room. The dispatcher told me, lock the door, stay away from her, and stay on the phone with him, which I did. Police officers arrived and that's when they started investigating.
Do you have the police report?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
There's also pictures on there, too.
All right. Why don't you tell me your version of the events, please?
My version is that I was with my mom because my dad had passed away, and I was there for a month from April 9th to May 24th. During this time, I received a phone bill, and I noticed he was calling making outgoing and receiving ingoing calls from this same number. And I questioned him about it, and he says he had fallen in love with this other person, and I didn't want him to be with me if he was in love with someone else or having relations with other people.
When did he tell you that?
I don't know the exact date.
Well, is it when you were away? Or
it was when I was at my mom's house.
Okay.
It was at my mom's house, and we had conversations for him to leave because we were both unhappy in the relationship. Because it was pretty much...
So far, does that ring a bell?
I never said that I was in love with this, but that is true that there was some calls, but it was never discussed like that.
Well, how was it discussed?
Like I had told you previously, I was unhappy and I felt like we were roommates, and she agreed that it was like we're roommates.
All right, so you became involved with somebody else?
No, I didn't, Your Honor.
Well,
it was
least
a
on the
friend of
telephone.
mine that she accused me of cheating on her with.
You know, there's all kinds of cheating,
Right.
sir. There's emotional cheating, there's physical cheating. You were having conversations with another woman, correct?
Yes, a friend.
Okay, go ahead. So you got back from...
I got back from Myrtle Beach, and I was unpacking my suitcase, and I had asked him to leave the apartment twice because I was really upset, and he was cursing at me, calling me bad things. And
No, that didn't start. That doesn't make sense. He picked you up from the airport.
we were talking, and he said we didn't talk on the way home. We were talking on the way
He
home.
picked you up from the airport. He didn't say take a cab home, take a car service home. He picked you up from the
With
airport.
my car.
I don't care whether he picked you up with your car or not. He picked you up at the airport, correct?
Right.
And there was no scene at the airport.
In the car there was.
I said there was no scene in the airport. And when you got home, he just started to curse you? Is that what you're telling me? That doesn't make sense. Makes sense that you were angry with him because of what you saw on the phone bill, but it doesn't make sense that he would start cursing at you.
Well, because I told him I didn't love him. We had discussed that we wanted to separate, and I had asked him to leave, and he said no, and he became very violent.
Well, tell me what he did.
I went over to the desk to get...
Make sure it's consistent with this police report.
I went over to the desk because I saw my car keys on there, and I didn't want him leaving with my car. I should have just let him leave with my car and reported the car.
Don't tell me what you should have done. Just
I
tell
know.
me what you did.
So I went over to the desk to just grab my car keys, and he grabbed me by the neck and was holding me by the neck. And then once he had me by the neck, I tried to get him to release me, so I scratched him on the face.
Police officers said, I observed Michelle's neck and did not see any marks or any form of injury. At the headquarters, Michelle stated that Joseph slammed the door in her face and injured her back when he jumped on her. Michelle made no claim of these actions when Sergeant and I were at her residence, and there were no injuries or marks consistent with her statement. He advised that while she was in the holding cell, Michelle did not confide any information that she was in fear of Joseph. Michelle was charged with simple...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joseph DeBari says his ex-girlfriend Michelle Gagliano owes for an assault, hotel fees, and for filing false charges. Michelle is countersuing for an assault, hotel fees, and damaged property.
Okay. You filed for a protective order on that date.
I was advised by
And granted a
Yes.
protective order. Okay. Then you went back to the apartment.
Yes.
How long did you stay in the apartment?
It was 3 days.
When did you find out that the lease was in her name?
When I was removed from the apartment, and I went to the office to ask them for a copy of the lease. Because
tell me-
all along, I was under the assumption, because we filled out papers together when we got the apartment, I was supposed to be on the lease.
Did you ever sign a lease?
I signed a document stating that I was going to be a registered occupant.
Were you a registered occupant on the lease?
As far as I was concerned, yes.
Can I see the lease, please?
He wasn't, and the reason for that was because of his criminal background. And that's why I had fraud and embezzlement or whatever.
That's your choice. If it's true, and I don't know if it's true or not, that was your choice, right?
To live with him?
Yeah.
I know, but my
That was your choice.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you didn't find out anything new about his criminal background after you moved from one apartment to another. You chose to live with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were there 3 days. And then what happened, sir?
I got a knock on the door, 2 police officers telling me I had to leave. They came in and they said, if you don't leave, we're going to arrest you. And this was at 5 o'clock. So I was like, this is wrong. I'm supposed to be here. You know, the court said I should be here. Well, you have to deal with them. It's after hours. You have to leave. So I left. I had a friend of mine pick me up and take me to a hotel. So I had contacted the courts and also the district attorney. And he stated to me, why are you out of the apartment? You have every right to be there.
Don't tell me what he stated to you, sir. That's hearsay.
To go back. So I went back after 4 days.
Okay, and?
And then our court proceedings continued. It was a 2-week adjournment. And after that, I decided to get my stuff.
And leave.
And leave. And just
Well,
bring
that's
the
a
keys
very
to
good
court.
idea.
I didn't want no trouble.
That's a very good idea. I believe his version of the events, and I do not believe yours.
sorry.
I believe that you assaulted him, that there was a terrible altercation, and that you filed a restraining order subsequently. Unless you have medical records. You have medical records?
I went to the emergency room.
Just a second. I want to see the medical records. I want to see what the physical manifestation was of this alleged assault.
And there's pictures, too.
I'm not looking at any pictures. The police officer memorialized exactly what they saw when they came to the premises. So you went to the emergency room the next day?
Yes.
Not that day. You went the next day. And then you went 3 days later.
Because I tried
Don't tell me what they said. I'm just asking you for objective data. You went the next day to the emergency room. And then you went 3 days after that. I'm just reading the records.
It was a holiday weekend.
Don't tell me what it was.
And I tried to do it that day, but they told me I couldn't.
Don't tell me what they told you, madam. That's hearsay. You can always go to the emergency room.
I mean, for me to, I tried to file a...
You can always go to the emergency room.
No, I know that. I'm not...
I just made a simple statement. The simple statement was you went to the emergency room the next day.
Yes.
Who took the photographs that you want to show me?
I did. I took them in the hotel room because I had to stay at a hotel for 11 days. And I took them before I went to the emergency room.
On what date?
On the 25th of May.
I want to look at them. It's nonsense. Okay. You were asked to leave because of what?
That she filed a complaint against me.
When did you file a complaint against him?
It was when the courts reopened on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'd like to see the complaint. You give so many different versions of this event to the police, to the doctors in the hospital, in your application for a protective order, and to me. In one narrative of the event, you say he slammed a door in your face and pushed you down. You told me he grabbed you by the throat, and that's what caused you to scratch him. Here you say that you went to grab a set of keys off the desk, he grabbed you by the neck and threw you down, and was holding you down by the neck.
He was.
Well, that's not what you told the doctors in the hospital.
I told them the same thing.
Do you want me to read what you told them?
I read it, and she wrote it.
She wrote it down differently.
She did.
Yeah. I believe that she filed this in retaliation, so you're filing the protective order. What expenses did you have with regard to defending the protective order?
I had $300 in a hotel for 4 days.
Let me see the bill.
This is my bank statement. There's 2 days on there, and 2 days I paid cash. I understand.
How much were the 2 days that are down there?
$74 a day.
I'm dismissing the part of your claim that seeks compensation for an assault. I do not believe you were assaulted. I believe he was. I believe you lost your temper, and that's what happened. I believe that you filed a restraining order against him in retaliation for his filing one so that you could get back into your apartment. That's what you did, and it didn't work. So I'm not awarding you anything on your counterclaim for the 2 weeks that you had to stay in a hotel room. You had to stay in a hotel room because you assaulted him, and he had a protective order. Now we're going to talk about your property. What do you claim that he took that belonged to you when he left?
He took a $200 blender. He took a digital photo frame. He took a business card case that I had. It all added up to...
Don't tell me what it added up to. I want to hear what he took.
He took
Keep going.
a wheeled laptop bag, a big Yankee clock that was on the wall, and that's it.
Did you take any of those items that belonged to
No, Your
her?
Honor. I took what was mine, just my clothes.
Did you ever file a police report with regard to items that he took?
No.
Why not?
Because when we went to court, he told my lawyer to tell me
No, don't tell me what he told your lawyer. After you got home, you're not a stranger now to the system. So now you can go back and file a police report that he stole items that belonged to you.
Okay.
Did you ever do that?
No, I didn't think I had to
Good.
do that.
Your counterclaim's dismissed.
Okay.
I'm awarding you, sir, $648, which is $148 for your hotel room and $500 for your scratches. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He gets away with lies.
I didn't realize she was full of lies. I just knew that we didn't have a relationship.
He's just a shady person.
It was just getting worse, and I just wasn't happy.
He's just shady, manipulative, and he lies.